Good evening, it's your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. Back with the 85th Create and Relate. One day I'm going to turn on this video and I'm going to be in a completely different location that I have walked to. I'm going to be standing up. The whole gamut. It's going to be a glorious day. And there will be no pain involved. None of that. We're just going to wait for that day. But it's coming soon. It's coming soon. I am very close to completing the bonus bundle that I originally started with. And keep in mind, it was a few yards short of being a complete ball because I used part of it to make the bag for which one was it? Wait a minute, I'm looking at something here. That's the point. To make the bag for ladder spray, the shawl. That one did not make it back to Virginia. Ladder spray, tropical paradise, alpha auntie, and behold, did not make it back. Bumpy Rose is my daughter's, and the Rainbow Princess was my granddaughter's. I took another peach one down there, which was the variegated peach virus shawl. There we go. So I'm sorry. Sometimes my girls be crying for freedom, and it's not the proper time. Granted, the next video will probably be in my nighty-night attire or just chilling attire or whatever. Y'all know me, I go strictly for comfort. Yes. Wow, y'all. This is the 85th video. That's a lot. That's a lot. I did a live today. I hope someone has looked at the repeat, the rerun. I just want you to see that I am getting it done. I'm in the purple yet now, y'all. Yep, I'm in they call this one grape, but I actually think the purple that comes after this is more of a grape, according to the way grapes look nowadays. I guess this would be a red grape or a plum grape. But I love how it gets dark at first when it's coming out, and then it goes to a light one. Can y'all see that from there? This is when it first started coming out. Yeah, there you can see it now. Okay. That's when it first started coming out, and then it graduated to this color, and now it's going to get even darker than that. when I get down to that part. Am I going to finish these 20 rows within the 24 hours? It's kind of sad when you say it like that. When you look at the fact that it's approximately 300 stitches per row, I'm quickly approaching that number. I'm at like 290 something. So by the time I finish, by the time I finish this row, I'll be at 291. And then the next go round will put me at 299. Ooh. I love you. I did very much. I thought it was pretty good. No, I'm pretty good. No, don't sell yourself short. Can one of them bring me a bottle of water, please? Y'all, let me tell you what my baby cooked tonight. She cooked the spiral noodles with veggies in it, cheese, and squimps. Y'all that don't know what squimps is, it's the little shrimp. Thanks, baby. Absolutely amazing. Served with butter garlic bread. I mean, it's like the real thin sliced Italian bread. Ooh. Water is good. It is so good. And I put it right in the way. Like, let me sit it right here so y'all can't see me. But I want you to see me. I want you to see the crocheting. That's what we're here for. Okay, I have to admit that since the last time we faced each other, my body said, give me a break. Give me a break. Yeah, it did. I have sleep apnea, y'all. I do. I try to deny it and say that I don't. And me having the big CPAP machine that I don't use doesn't help my case. No, I don't use it because it leaves these ungodly marks on my face. The air in the beginning comes out too forceful. They're like, well, you need the highest setting because you have it really bad. And I'm like, okay, I get that, but can we do a build-up? You have to come right out with the whoosh. No, you don't. Because when I first got the machine and I needed it really badly, y'all, when I first got my CPAP machine, I weighed 379. When they told me that you have to lose 100 pounds, and maybe you can come off of it. So I was also considering going into the military at the time, the Army. So I was walking like you would not believe. I was working out like you would not believe. This is when my body would allow me to do that. My job was like 2 miles away from my house. It was like a pinch short of 2 miles. But I would either walk to work and get a cab back home, or I would get a cab to work and walk back home. Along with that, I walked every morning around the neighborhood. Our block, well, we went around, we did 2 blocks, a young lady named Sylvia and I. So we knew that going around the 1 block one time was a little more than a quarter of a mile. So If we did that 3 times, we'd be like right at a mile. But we covered 2 blocks. We would walk around the 2 blocks every day, which ended up being like 1.7 miles. Being that I had to be at work so early, we started doing it in the afternoons when I got home from work. Now, when I would get up in the morning, on Fit TV, they had the aerobics thing. I would do that in the morning just before I'd get out of bed, go to the bathroom, forget my grandkids, they're arguing again. But I would get out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face, come back and do the aerobics. Then I'd take my bath and, proceed to get ready for work. I was drinking 56 ounces of coffee every day. That's how much my big gulp cup was. And I was also drinking 80 ounces of beer. I did. That was in the afternoons when I got off of work. The whole point is I went from $379 to $198. Maintained it for a long time. As a matter of fact, I maintained it for approximately 6 years. I stayed right there between 198 and 200. I was comfortable doing anything I wanted to do. Could sit the way I was comfortable sitting, which was Indian style or with one foot up in the chair. I loved it. I had gotten down to a size 16, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I had a heart attack in 2000. The first thing that happened to stop me from walking was I was in a car accident. Had a few slip discs in my upper back and lower neck. So that slowed me down a lot, but I still didn't, gain. I was maintaining. But in 2000, I had my first heart attack. And honestly, y'all, when I went to the hospital, I weighed 199. They took my weight when I got there. I was in the hospital for a week. When I got out of the hospital, I weighed 215. They wouldn't allow me to get up out of bed. I could do nothing to exercise. The food they gave me was deplorable. Oh my God, it was awful. But I would eat it because I knew I needed the nourishment. I was drinking a lot of cranberry juice, water, and grape juice, and apple juice. So like every night before I went to bed, the little 8-ounce cups that they gave, they did little 4-ounce cups, the little 4-ounce cups that they gave you, I would have a cranberry juice and either a grape juice or an apple juice. The rest of the time I was drinking water or whatever came on my tray. So when I got out of the hospital, I'm weighing 215. I'm like, I'm feeling it. Oh my God, I was feeling that 16 pounds. But I was on such limitations at home that I really couldn't get out like I wanted to. So then I decided, you know what? Against doctor's orders, I'm going to the club every Thursday night because I love to dance. Y'all, I was at the club every Thursday night. Religiously, I felt like if I couldn't walk around the neighborhood because everybody in the neighborhood knew what happened, so they were watching me. I'd leave the house. Here comes the neighbor. Where you going? What you doing? Did the doctor say you could do that? So every Thursday night, my brother would come pick me up in his cab because that was my job then, driving cab. And he would take me and my 2 sisters my two sisters, down to the club downtown Portsmouth. And we stayed until it closed. Every Thursday night we stayed until it closed. Got there close to opening and stayed till it closed. So I managed to get down to 210. I started working at a pizza dough shop where they made pizza dough. All I was basically doing was watching this dough fall in the pan at first. And we moved to another department. Oh, I was all over that place. I was in the cold room where they froze the pizza balls and you had to put them in the... I did everything in there. I worked all positions in there just about. And they sent everybody on a hiatus after a little while, and it was just a bunch of mess. But after leaving the pizza place, just driving cab only, I started seeing the weight coming back on. Because all I was doing was driving all day. You drive for 12 hours, you know. And I was pulling my 12, and I was basically sitting in the cab. And then all of these fast food restaurants became very appealing, and I think Bojangles was my favorite. I would stop and get me a leg and a thigh. That's all I wanted, was a leg and a thigh. Every night I had a leg and a thigh, until the night I went and their food tasted tainted. Then I couldn't eat from there anymore. So I graduated to KFC or Church's, you know. And then, whereas the weight was just creeping back on, I became a dispatcher, overnight dispatcher. So, you know, all the cab drivers being really, really nice to you as a dispatcher. I got Church's, I got McDonald's, I got Hardee's, I got basically anything. If they rode out to NOB, which is a naval base here, they would stop at Dodge's and get me the spicy wings. That was the only spicy food I would eat, because it was seasoned really well. It would burn the heck out of my mouth. I don't like spicy foods. My philosophy is it burns going in and it burns coming out. But I would eat those wings. Those wings were delish. Absolutely. If you don't know, now you know. Just telling you, y'all. But yeah, so as becoming a dispatcher, I watched the weight just pour on at that point, you know. By the time I got to be a dispatcher, I was probably around 230, close to it. But after being a dispatcher for a couple of years, I was up in the 270s, and I was really disappointed in myself. I was trying, before going to work, I would walk around the neighborhood. In 99, which was right at the beginning of me becoming a dispatcher, I had 4 or 5 jobs. I worked at Exxon, I worked at Fashion Bug Plus, I worked at Innovations, I drove cab. I got a ringing in my ear. I drove cab, and I was going to school to become a nursing assistant. So I had all of that going on in 99. And I had started coming down again at that point. And then I got robbed by gunpoint at Exxon. That traumatized me. That was like in November of 99. And then on New Year's Eve of 99, I picked up a fare, a shady fare. And I was driving by myself that night, and we went over to Norfolk. And when he got out, he grabbed me by the collar of my shirt. And that little voice kept saying, y'all better get out at the same time. Don't let him get out and you not get out. So as he was pulling on me, I'm opening the door. So as soon as both the doors flew open and he jumped out, he ran around to me, but I was getting out. So I like shouldered him. We ended up fighting, and I heard like, it sounded like horses running. And I had this man on the ground, sitting on him, defending myself, you know. When I heard the noise, something said, get back in the car. And when I got up, I turned and looked, and there were these 4 guys running in our direction. I got back in the car and took off without closing the doors. I flew. I did. Made it back to Portsmouth. Stopped at Exxon, which I had not gone back to work there since, being robbed at gunpoint. But my sister was still working there, and I went back. I'm talking to her. I'm nervous. I'm shifting. I called the cab stand, told the dispatcher what had happened. He was like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm going home. As soon as I can get myself together, I'm going home. I'm not doing this anymore tonight, and I'm not driving after dark anymore. I don't know what you were thinking when you sent me to this place that you rarely even send guys to, but at the time I'm thinking, I got all these kids I gotta feed. I don't know if you remember, but I had 3 children, and I raised a total of 35. So there were 32 more, and even though all of them weren't there at the same time, it was always a lot of kids there. I think the most I had at one time was, all together at one time was probably like 17. But even still, I wasn't going back out there. That was not going to happen. And I quit Fashion Bug. I quit Exxon. I quit Innovations. I did stay with the cab because that's when they started switching me over to dispatcher. So I did that and completed school. We'll talk about the schooling thing another time. I became certified, but I get too emotionally attached. And I knew that was not the area for me, but I did it to satisfy other people. And it got me very emotional. One of the patients where I worked passed, and I think I got so emotional about that because I told the nurse that he was not going to make it through the day, and she scoffed and said I didn't know what I was talking about, and you don't just tell those people, look, I grew up in a funeral home. I know what people look like when they come in there, and he looks pretty close. I couldn't say that to her and make her understand that, but I was actually filling in for laundry that day. And when several hours later, I went to deliver their clothing and linen to their room, and his roommate was screaming to the point that he was hoarse. And he was like, I keep trying to tell him that he's gone. Well, that's not what he said, but I have learned that you can't say the D word. But he was just screaming, that he's gone. I went in and I looked at him, knowing that in my position I wasn't supposed to touch him, so I didn't. I just immediately went and called for help, and the nurse, we're just going to say her name was Miss Smith, came. And I said, he's expired. You know, and my thing is, whether he could or could not have been revived, by the time they got down to him, rigor had set in, which means that he had been expired for a few hours at least. And yeah, it bothered me. But if I could turn back time, yeah, we can sing that all day. And Nina, when we say it, we can. But time doesn't get turned back. It doesn't. No matter how much we wish it, it doesn't. So I am approaching my 30 minutes. I just wanted to let you all know where I got with the dress. It is now like thigh length. I'm pretty sure that I'm opening the next ball because I want it longer. I like long dresses. I wish you could see where this one hits me. This one comes like just below my calves. So yeah, the one that I have on, this is like just below my calves until I sit down. When I sit down, I pull everything up to just above my knees. Yeah, but when I'm up and I'm out and about, I love the long flowy dresses. So this one, you know, even though I had it up to me, it's just now coming to like just above the mid thigh. Like this long part here is all waist because I have a really funny shape. I do. I have a funny shape. But you know that I have the falupa. It is covering the falupa now. Yay! But it's like barely in. Well, when I tried it on last was about 3 or 4 rows ago, and it was like just above the mid thigh. So I'm sure with these 4 rows added, it's below mid thigh at this point, because double crochet works up pretty quickly and it gives you a nice span. I don't know what our content will be when I come back. I am going back and forth between things that I have to do on the computer and crochet. Excuse me. And like I said, I even napped. Because I'm doing the 24 hours, I'm not taking my sleeping pill tonight. But I am going to do an ibuprofen. And I'm going to see if, you know, that helps my mobility throughout the night and all that other good stuff. This water bottle is I've been drinking the filtered refrigerator water. So this will be my only water bottle I've collected since yesterday. So I still have the 4 pencil holders. But hopefully, and my grandson, bless his heart, I told them to save these as well. And my grandson brought me one today. So I'll be using these as well. I'll be crocheting covers for these as well. Yep. But I did place the table water today. So matter of fact, so when they get here, you know I'm gonna share. You know I am. I may turn this off and come back with a late night live. I have to give myself some time. I got to do at least 2 rows, and I think I pretty much basically just started this row, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I just started this row, so probably about 11:30, maybe about an hour, a little more than an hour. I'll jump on and do a live, because I will be very much awake, very much awake. Yes, I will. But in the meantime, in between time, don't forget, when you look in the mirror, you tell that image, I love you, and you best believe that Kitty Lane loves you too. Bringing you all this luscious love from Hamperton. Yes. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you soon. All right? All right.